Hi everybody, Mrs. Houston here. The learning target is I can identify the slope and y-intercept for a linear relationship. And this is the 2.1 practice A. I did adjust the directions a little. This is finding the slope and y-intercept of each line. So I don't want you to just find the slope. I want you to also find the y-intercept. So when we take a look at the line here, remember that slope is rise over run. And this is a little bit different when you have all four quadrants and when it's just going by ones. You actually just have to count. You don't have to, see, oh, is it going up by 10 or 20 like some of the ones from yesterday. Okay, so rise is up or down, run is right to left. Okay, so if we're identifying the slope, we want to go from the points. You usually try to go from left to right. So if you notice this line is going up from left to right, if you were a person right here, you would be walking uphill. So you should end up with a positive number for your slope. Okay, and I'm going to use the 2 points that they've given. Those aren't the only 2 points. You could use this point. Whoops, I'm off a little, but that point right there. So you could use any point where it is exactly on the corners. Okay, so the rise is going to be how far I go up. And notice we just go up 1, and then the run, I go 2 to the right. Okay, so that makes our slope 1 over 2, or 1/2 for that first one. Now the y-intercept of a graph is where the graph touches the y-axis. Okay. And here is the y-axis. And this one actually goes through the y-axis right here in the middle, making its y-intercept 0. Okay, so the slope for this one is 1/2 and the y-intercept is 0. You're going to want to keep working through those. On the back, here we go. We have equations, okay? And I also want you to find the slope and y-intercept of each equation. Okay, so if you remember from the video, we have y equals mx plus b or ax plus b. Okay. I'll write both of them. Okay, remember that this is just a variable, so we can use different letters to mean the same thing. The important part is that number in front of the x is the slope. Okay, the slope is the rate of change. So the number next to the x is what the x coordinate is going to get multiplied by each time. This b is the y-intercept. That's the constant term or the starting amount. Okay, so when we look at this first equation here, number 1, the number in front of x is -5 over 2. Okay, so the slope of this line is -5 over 2. All right, and then the number here by itself is the y-intercept. And in this case, you always take the sign in front with it. So in this case, the y-intercept is -5. That means that that line would cross the y-axis down 5.